Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. We're live. Excuse me. That should be enough lag time. So, hello, everyone. If you're in the chat, let us know who you are and where you're from. Say hey. Tell us what you like to do. Anything else you think is necessary?
We've got a bunch of our favorites in the chat, a bunch of our friends.
All right, a bunch of people in the chat.
Jim Spalding's in the chat, Mark
Fans
L.
and favorites. Hey,
Johnny
Jim.
Foster. Oh, sorry,
Jim
go ahead.
Spalding, I was thinking about you this weekend because we were at the Woodcarver show, and we were looking at these cool chip carved stuff, and I was like, that's Jim's specialty. I don't know if that's your specialty, but you're good at it. So it's kind of cool. It was amazing stuff those carvers do. All right, we will get started here. Oh, it looks like we're ready to go. Got Kevin in Maryland, Bruce, Leah, Byron, Mark, Walt, Jim, Johnny. All right. Sorry if I missed you.
Mike Taylor's in the chat.
Mike Taylor, all the way from Gilbert, Mike Taylor.
Roman's in the chat.
Roman, very
Richard
nice.
Elston's in the chat.
Excellent, excellent. Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you watched last week when Amy and Carrie did their, what was the title of that? It was like craft show and online selling tips and tricks. If you didn't watch it and you want to sell stuff online or at craft shows, I'd highly recommend watching it because they gave away some amazing tips. And a lot of that stuff we learned the hard way, so save yourself some headache.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, those tips came from doing a lot of shows and a lot of hours and a lot of hard lessons of don't do that anymore, or do this better. So definitely check out Carrie and Amy. If you watch it, give it a thumbs up. Give this one a thumbs up, and that helps with the algorithm and stuff. But that was last week. I was gone last week. I won't bore everybody, but real quick, I got to go turn in Boulder, Colorado at Stuart Batty's place for 5 days. And if you don't know who Stuart Batty is, definitely YouTube him because bowl turning, there's probably not very many better. I don't think so anyway. I mean, there's a lot of bowl turners out there, but this guy, he turns, his methods and his grinds are so that you can turn without like abusing your body and like getting tired. It's kind of effortless. I turned for 5 days, pretty much all day, every day, and I felt fine at the end of it. So I think if I had done that before, I'd be real tired.
Yeah.
The only thing that hurt was on Friday night, I ate it on the ice in the hotel because it was like I couldn't see the ice and it just right out from under me. So I landed on my back. But other than that, I didn't have any soreness. So at least it was Friday after it was all over. But anyway, highly recommended, very fun. Take a class if you can on any of this stuff. When I was younger, I was like, you don't need a class, just figure it out, which you can. But classes, man, they get you way ahead. So worthwhile. All right, Amy, any announcements that we need to go over before? Because I'm kind of out of the loop.
I'm like, am I in the loop?
Wait,
well,
let me do I'm Chad at Turner's Warehouse. Amy's on the moderation on the chat.
Hey, everyone.
Amy's also mic'd so she can chat with us. But yeah, what do we got going on? Anything?
We have a brand new pin kit that we're dropping today, so that's exciting.
Yes. This kit is live in the web store. I don't know if Carrie put it on the homepage, but she's probably listening, so it'll probably end up on the homepage. It's called the Norwester. It's from Beaufort Inc. in England. And it's kind of like Art Nouveau, fancy, schmancy looking pen kit, but pretty cool. So we have this new pen kit today. We're going to make one of each color. And
whatever else I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went to the Desert Wood Carving Show this weekend. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, cool.
We saw a lot of you guys out there. Like, there were a lot of locals that came out to like check out the carvings, and there are a lot of turners that do carving and a lot of carvers that dabble in turning. And AWA was out there, which was really cool, like our local wood turning club.
Yeah.
And I did a gallery walkthrough. I wish I would have taken more pictures, but it was kind of busy. And the first day I was there by myself. So took a lot of video. I went through all the vendors and then went through the gallery. If you guys want to see those videos, are up on YouTube.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think carving, if it's something you haven't ever thought about, think about it, because carving is cool because you can take a little piece of wood and a knife and you're good to go. Like if you go camping or if you're like on a trip, you can just carve. Whereas like obviously a lathe, you got to have this with you. So carving is kind of a neat little hobby. Plus you can carve things you turn, which I told Amy next year for the Desert Wood Carvers show, I'm going to turn something and then carve something into it so I can enter it, because I want to enter it in the gallery.
Heck yeah. I was going to say that if you didn't, because now you guys are all witness that we both want to like enter something in the show next year at the Desert Wood Carver show.
Well, I told Amy to enter something this year, but she didn't, but she won.
I chickened out, and then I was like, dang it, why didn't I enter one of my carvings?
Yeah. So new pen kit today. We'll make this and see how it goes, see how they look. They are available, and then we do have some other new kits coming in the very near future, so look for those in the near future. And then we've got a lot of other video ideas and live stream ideas, so lots planned, but obviously if there's something you want to see or talk about or hear, let us know. Okay.
I was going to say we also have another fun drop that's happening maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but we're starting to carry some of Jim from Cocoon Blanks. We've got blanks and knife scales from him. So that's not a thing.
Are they live yet? Do you know?
They might be live on the website.
Carrie, are they live? Yeah, Cocoon Blanks, Jim Godoy, awesome caster. He made a series just for us, and they're really cool blanks. They're limited quantities. So, Carrie, if you are listening, maybe you could put a link to those in the chat if they're live. If not, they'll be live soon. But that is a pretty cool thing because we're really doing some cool limited colors and things. So let's look at this kit real quick. And we won't spend a lot of time on this, but I just want to kind of show you. It's kind of a unique, I don't think that goes that way. That. It's kind of a unique finish. It's very Art Deco-y. This is the antique pewter, which today we're going to do stabilized buckeye with antique pewter, like that. We're going to do olive wood with antique brass. I think that'll look good. And then we're going to do white pearl. This is just a top choice white pearl with antique copper, which I think the contrast is going to look really cool. So that's the only resin we're doing. This is kind of like a, I don't know if I'd say classic looking, but yeah, kind of classic or vintage style. So I don't know that a lot of resins would look great with this, but obviously some will. But I think the contrast to that white pearl is going to look cool. So there's our three kits. Norwester, antique copper, antique brushed pewter, and antique brass. Okay, so here's our blanks. They are tubed and ready to go. I am gonna ream these real quick. So if you guys haven't seen this, I think I've showed it before. I always ream these. It's just a little like beveler. And there's two types, this blade type. And what it does is it cuts, when you sand or barrel trim your tube, you can get a little lip and it will make your bushing not fit. You can get that or this big head type, which I like. And all it does is just chamfer the inside of that, if that's the right word. What?
No, I just thought of something else cool.
Oh,
we didn't
what is
mention.
it? Let's hear it.
We have the new Collets chucks,
Oh, yeah.
which is very exciting. And I don't know why we both forgot about that.
Yeah, we have a new
Somehow you said chamfering, and I was like, Collet chuck.
We have a new ER32 collet chuck that threads on the lathe. We have it an 1 1/4 inch, an 1 1/8 inch, and it's made in the USA by Stainless Bottle Stoppers. Those guys We talked about it at SWAT last year, and I was like, we need a good one made in the U.S., and they came through. So we got a limited supply of them, but we got more coming. So if it's something you're looking for, you can check it out. Now, we are going to, oh, and as always, if you have questions throughout this, throw them in the chat, and, people in the chat will answer. Amy can always ask me if it's something that I need to answer. But we're just going to walk through this and kind of show you. We are going to make all three right now. I think we can do it pretty quickly and efficiently, and that we kind of see all three at the end.
Mr. Gold is in the chat.
Mr. Gold. Okay, we're going to turn between centers. And what that means is we're going to use, oh no, I dropped my bushing. I got a lot of sawdust under here.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I found it. I found it.
Where's your metal tool? Oh, you were using it.
Oh no, I got too much dust on here. There we go. Well, kinda. Nailed it. All right, so back to it. We're gonna turn between centers. These are the Beaufort bushings. This kit, the Norwester, shares with the Notice, or Notus. So if you've made that kit from Beaufort, you don't have to get new bushings. These are really nice bushings from them. They're stainless steel. They are mandrel or TBC, meaning they have a hole through them, so you can put them on a mandrel, or you can put them on your live center, dead center, because they have a 60-degree chamfer at the back, so you can just put them on like that. So TBC means you're just putting the bushings directly on and bringing up a live center and a dead center, and that's how we're going to turn. So we want this snug. Lock the tailstock, snug it up. You don't want to go crazy with it. You're not trying to bend metal or anything. You just want it snug. And you guys will have to bear with me a little bit today. I turned all last week, but I didn't turn here. And before I left, there was a class here for 3 days, so everything's out of normal place. So if I have to look for something, that's why.
All right.
What you got, anything?
That's good. Oh, just lots of chitter chatter in the chat.
Chitter chatter.
Chitter chatter.
All right. Well, let's turn this. We're going to start with this resin. This will be pretty easy. Let's see what we got for speed. Well, we're on the middle setting. Like I said, there was a class here, and they did spindle turning. So let's go ahead and change this. And the reason is, I always want to turn it fast, and this lathe gets up to 4,000, so it's worth the extra 20 seconds to change the belt. Yep, in the middle. And our middle range on this one is up to 1650. Oh, I should say, if you, Amy sent out a little thing, but the record power sale, because this is a record power, that's what reminded me. The record power sale, like all the tools, chucks, everything that's been on sale for a couple months is ending this week. Friday, is it? The 1st?
The 28th.
The 28th. So if there's anything you were waiting to get and you wanted record power, I'd grab it because the sale is ending. So kind of a thing. We're going to all see some price adjustments with the new tariffs going in. It's going to start to change things. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so now I can get up to 4,000. 4,030. All right. Let's do, I'm just going to use this, this is a Easy Wood tool. It's a negative rake square. And I don't necessarily need negative rake for this, this blank. There's some tape from the blank. But my tool had negative rake on it, so I'm not going to switch it out. And it also feels like it needs to be rotated. It's not cutting super well, but it's not bad. Whoa. Gotta get my stuff tight. If you're in the Phoenix area, I will be demoing this weekend down at Woodworker's Source in Tempe. If that's something you want to check out. And then, 2 weeks from this weekend, Amy and I will be at the AWA, the Arizona Woodturners Association. Right, Amy? 2 weeks from this weekend?
It's on the third Saturday?
The third Saturday of the month. And that one's going to be fun because we're going to talk about, we're going to do casting and stabilizing for turning. And then we're going to cast some hybrid, some stabilized wood into some resin. So that'll be fun if you're in the area and want to check it out.
On the 15th.
15th, yeah.
So what's cool about AWA as well is because a lot of the folks who are in the club are snowbirds, and after COVID kind of made everything go online, you can join the club even if you don't live in Arizona, and then you can attend the monthly meetings via Zoom, which is like really kind of cool.
And it's not very expensive. It's like $40 a year, right? Or $50 a year?
I think we pay $60 for the two of us.
For two of us?
Or around
Yeah,
60
but you know
for
what?
the two
Like
of us.
they get really good turners to demo.
Yeah, they do.
Aside from this month.
Don't
but
say
a lot of
this
times
month,
they
'cause
have
we're
big.
still in February.
Oh yeah, we're still in February. I'm talking March. So it actually is a good thing to be able to watch because they get like big names to come demo. All right, so that's it for that one. This is a, like I said, it's the same bushings as the Nautis, which I don't remember. Let's see. Yeah, they look like they're the same. So they're the same on each end. You can see the white pearl kind of shining out a little bit. I'm actually going to flatten this out a bit because I got kind of a hump in the middle. And I'm not a big pregnant pen fan. So let's take this down a little right here.
Yeah, we have such a healthy club, the local club. It was fun hanging out with them this weekend at the carving show because they were out as well doing turning.
Yeah, we've seen the club guys a lot here in Arizona because they were at our event a couple weeks ago. Then we saw them this past weekend at the carving event. They'll probably be, if I had to guess, they might be at the thing this weekend, and then we'll see them next weekend. So they're all over the place, those guys. Okay, that one's ready. I'm not going to sand it quite yet because we'll go ahead and turn everything. Now we are going to finish these in a couple different ways, so that'll be good that we're doing the two woods. Let us do this Buckeye. So I'm really curious about this Buckeye. It's not, well, I think it was Buckeye burl, but it's very kind of flat. But let me show you it's super grainy. This was the other piece. It has all kinds of dark lines and stuff in it. It's gray, it's white. It's just clear stabilized. So let's see how this one goes. And you know what we'll do is we'll rough this off with a little gouge or something here. We'll see what this is ground to. Because I don't know. So I'm just going to take the corners off with this. If you haven't turned with stabilized wood, it's kind of like resin, but a little different. It doesn't really flow off like ribbons. It's more powdery. See what it looks like. Yeah, that's going to look really cool once we put finish on it. Cool color, really natural looking. I think for the choice for this kit, it's gonna look really good. Let's see if this negative rake is sharp enough. It does not feel sharp at all. We're gonna use this guy. So that class I just was at, it was the first time I've taken a class like that. And we had so much wood. I think I turned like 25 bowls myself. And from every range of size, like small ones, big ones, live edge ones. So it was really, really cool. Boy, these are just dull. I need to change some tips. So if you can ever do a class like that, it's definitely worth it.
I feel like the straight hollower was sharp last time I used it.
Oh, the number one?
Yeah, I love that one. It's my fave.
I was actually using this yesterday a bunch. This is the number one hollower. It's got a little tiny, this thing is so sharp. Let's see if I can.
I love that thing. Yes, Mark, the airbrush guy, Joe Fleming, he was at the carving show. And he's supposed to do some stuff for AWA soon, I think, too.
Well, he gets around because he does SWAT and he does all kinds of club events, and
Yeah.
he's a
Super
busy
nice
guy. I think he's from California. Oh yeah, that's gonna look cool. It's got a lot of cool colors in it for being kind of flat. All right, so there's those two. Let's get this. Lastly, we're doing some olive wood. We just got a shipment in. And this olive wood is super nice. It's got a lot of lines in it and different directions and things. Now this is just not, this is regular, so it's not stabilized.
I'm pretty jazzed about this kit. I like the style of it.
Yeah, it's actually kind of unique, which it's hard to be unique in pen kits because they're all kind of the same shape, you know.
I like the embellishments on it.
Yeah, it has some cool embellishments. I'm just using the wing of this little spindle gouge to cut this. It's nice and sharp. It's a little, well, it's a little bowl gouge. It's a 1/4 inch bowl gouge, a little tiny thing. All right, let's see what we got here. We'll use this number one to clean her up. Who out there has a number one hollower that they use for everything but hollowing?
I think after I started using that one, totally because Rebecca DeGroot was using it when she did her, and I was like, I want to try that one. That's my favorite tool.
Yeah, she does use this a lot. Or at least she did that day. I know a lot of people use it a lot. Like Zach loves this tool. It's just so like detailed, if that's the right thing. All right. So we're going fast here, but look at that. See, that's some cool olive. Different perspective. Good stuff, good stuff. Oh, darn it, I dropped my thing again. Don't drop the bushings in the sawdust. They're hard to get out. All right. What's going on? Do we got anything going?
Can you repeat what bushings you're using?
Yeah, I'm using Notice bushings from Beaufort. Notus, Notice, or Notus, depending on how you want to say it. They share the bushings. Carrie, does it share the tube? I can't remember if the tube length. No, I think the tube length is different. But it shares the bushings. So here's our 3 blanks. We'll show these overhead. Oop. Boy, there we go. So we got olive, buckeye, and then pearl, white pearl. Now we're gonna just do a quick brush off clean here because you guys don't want to watch me clean a lathe. Look at this. I'm finding magnets everywhere from Emily. She turns wood. Magnets stuck right there.
She was laughing. She's like, I hid them all over. I think there's a bunch we haven't found.
Well, I found one on the bandsaw. I think every lathe has 1 or 2. It's pretty funny.
It's pretty great because, like, you can stick them in lots of places. It made me think, oh, we need to get magnets too.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. That way when I go somewhere, I can put magnets all over. It's kind of funny. All right, so we're going to do these between centers. You could do them on a mandrel with some like non-stick bushings. I don't ever recommend putting your regular bushings or any bushings on and then sanding, whether it's wood or resin. Particularly if it's wood, you will get little black dust, little dots into your blank, which does not look good, so don't do that. I've got my, drawing a blank, lathe buddy, little lathe buddy, lathe Matt.
Jake Thompson's in the house.
Jake Thompson, I've heard of him. Jake, what up? So I saw some lathe buddy hate the other day. It was kind of funny. People were like, oh, it's just a mat, or it's just a towel or whatever. Okay, like, I guess it's just a towel, but it has magnets and it has like the backing so everything doesn't soak through. So, I mean, haters gonna hate, but I like it.
Plus, I feel like Marquetta makes them with love, so.
Well, I don't really care about that, but it's cool, I guess.
She's awesome.
But lathe buddies are cool because they keep I tell you, my lathe used to be rusty every time I did something, and now it's not, so.
Jake's saying hi to everybody, and then he goes, and Chad, I guess.
Jake, I'm going to do your funnels this week, hopefully. Jake sent me some cool funnels for casting. I got to do those.
I was looking at those last week.
Were you?
Yeah.
So this is, I'm going as slow as this belt will give me. It's 1,000, which is a little fast, but it's fine. I'm wet sanding. I always wet sand everything. This is 600. And then I'm going to go straight to Zona once I feel like there's no marks, which I don't feel any marks. So Zona paper is just polished paper. And we're going to whip through this because it will not take much to make this nice. You can do any polish you like for resin. If you're into magic juice or micro mesh or whatever, Zona is what I use pretty much for everything. I go through the full gamut of colors. I try to do 35 to 45 seconds per Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower, depending on mood and what's going on.
I feel like I do a couple minutes
Which is
on
fair.
each one.
Well, I mean, a couple minutes is good because the longer, the better. Honestly, like, you're going to make it look better the more you polish it. But, on a live stream, I don't want to sit here for 15 minutes
No.
with Zona paper. So we're going to make this quick. One of my lathes always wet. Look at them splashing everywhere.
But your lathe bed isn't wet because you're lathe buddy.
No, the lathe buddy to the rescue. If Roman or Marquetta are in, you guys can put a link to the lathe buddy. Or to
I know
whatever,
Roman was in the chat earlier.
whatever page if you want.
Roman's been doing some cool pens lately. I saw some cool stuff posted.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. And if you guys aren't in the Facebook group, some people did some really cool Valentine's Day stuff or like love themed stuff in February.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, if you're on Facebook, go to the Turners. Amy, say the name.
Sorry, I'm really...
Turner's Warehouse Turning Team?
Turner's Warehouse Turning Team. That's it. I'm like, I have to look. Turner's Warehouse Turning Team.
All right, so I'm got one more color here. This is, you can tell this is already super shiny. Yeah, it's wet because I'm wet sanding, but you can like see the reflection through it.
We've got 1,000 folks in there.
Yeah, everybody's posting really cool stuff. It's fun to go look through there and see what everybody's making.
Robert Franklin did his first carved spoon, and it has 2 hearts at the top of it, and it's really cool.
So Bob contacted me when I was up in Boulder, and he was doing a demo like 45 minutes north of where I was, but I wasn't able to get there. But I would have loved to have seen him because he's a great guy. He's so talented. All right, that's it for that one.
Yeah, it's I'm kind of obsessed with the spoon.
Pearl, white pearl. Easy peasy. What'd you say?
I said I'm kind of obsessed with his spoon.
Yeah.
Oh, Roman is in the chat.
All right.
Roman says use more lathe buddies if you want to keep the side. Use the small one.
Always a salesman. Use more lathe buddies. No, I'm just
Mark
kidding.
has a question. Chad, do you have any tips for keeping the front and back of the Zona paper identified? I've been marking it with a Sharpie on the back so I know what the back is, especially for the fine grits.
No, that's a good question because I do kind of mix them up sometimes, or if I drop them. I don't do anything. I can generally feel the difference because the backs all feel the same. So like if you rub it with your thumb, the fronts will feel a little different, but the backs always feel the same. So I would just keep doing what you're doing with the marker because putting like an X on the back is probably the best thing to do. Now this is the Buckeye Burl, and this is my 600. You can see it's kind of sands like resin, right? And I could wet sand this, but I'm not going to because we're going to go right to some sealer here. But I am going to switch paper already because it sure gunked it up fast because 600 is pretty fine. But what you'll see here is lines. Maybe you'll see it. The lines are my high spots and low spots because I used a round tool to turn my final, flat surface, which probably wasn't the best idea. But I wanted to be able to show you guys how to sand out your round tool marks, of course, is why I did it. So you can see it does fill up regular paper pretty fast. I could use Abernet, which I do a lot, but I don't think the Abernet is as fine even in the 600. So to me, 600 Abernet is not as good as 600 wet dry paper, like apples to apples. That's just an opinion. So take it for what it's worth. But I like to use this wet dry paper even like this for the stabilized wood. And then now I'm just going to go long ways to get out any radial marks. And 600 generally is enough to make it look really, really good. You know, with wood, you might even stop at like 220 or 320 and be good. But with stabilized, it's kind of, I treat it a little more like a resin. Now I have some denatured alcohol here, so I'm going to use it. I'm just going to get the dust off. But it will show the shine of how this should look when we're done. Obviously, we want to let this really dry up before we put anything on it. Looking good. Oh man, my sanding sealer is looking pretty. Okay, this is good. I had sanding sealer in a plastic tub and it is no good. So I'm just going to use some sanding sealer. This is the one I always use. I always talk about Mylan's. I'm sure there's many different ones, but this is the one I like. We've had really good results with this stuff. So I'm just going to put a little bit on a paper towel, like just a drop. I'm just going to roll it on. Let that spin. Now here it dries in like 10 seconds, but if you're colder or more humid or any of that stuff, it's going to take longer. So while that dries, I'm getting out my Yorkshire grit. Yorkshire. That's how you say it. Yorkshire. Now, do I have any gloves right here? Nope. All right, it's fine. This isn't like harmful, it's just a lot of it. So all I'm going to do, I've got a #1 pad in here. I'm just going to apply it. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's kind of making like sanding noise. I just leave that guy in there. And I applied it, and now I'm going to take a dry cloth. And this is not how Yorkshire grit tells you to do it, but it's how I like to do it. So I can hear the breakdown in the spinning, and you can see it on there. That's the steel from the dead center. So you want to clean that all off. Make sure you get the ends, because you don't want any Yorkshire grit in there when you put your finish on. So I'm going to flip it over so I got the fresh side. And I'm just going to kind of make sure I wipe it all off. And this already looks pretty good because essentially we sealed it and then we sanded it with a really high grit. So it looks really cool. Let's see. I wonder if we can... Nope, not that one. Let's see if we can zoom this in more. Tight. Okay.
That's a cool piece of wood.
Oops. Wrong direction.
Darren's in the chat, and he said, I suspected the plastic tub of sealer was going bad when you tried to trick Kate during the open house with it.
That was the Mylan's. That was actually different, but same principle. Yeah, this is my sealer. And it should be liquid, but as you can see, it's not moving. It's kind of like sludge. And I think it reacted with the plastic, like it wasn't the right kind of, because in glass it works just fine, but I thought this cool jar would work because you have the drip thing, but it didn't work. So, anyway, I got a fresh Mylan's friction polish. You just want to shake it up. The trick with this stuff for me is less is more. So shake it really good and then literally put one drop on a pen blank. Now obviously if you're doing more, you're going to need more, but for the pen blank, like, oh, that's plenty. Actually, that might be too much, but let's put it on here. And I'm just going to slowly go across, get to where you can see the drop. And then I'm going to go back and forth. Now, if you want to do stuff that shines, but you don't like CA, you can get close with this. You can't get it exactly like CA because obviously CA is a plastic coating. But this stuff, so I'm using my finger to heat it up. If I let this sit, and hopefully you can see the shine on that because that is insanely shiny. But I use that one drop. If I let this sit a little while, and normally by a little while I would let this sit like a couple hours or even overnight. Preferably if I'm doing stuff at the end of the day, I'll just let it sit and then I'll come back in the morning and do one more. But let's do one more just to show you. Because see, I can touch this and it feels dry because I heated it up with my finger. But I've got it on there, so now I'm going to go back and forth. And I'm putting pressure on it for heat. There's a funny balance with this stuff that if you get it too thick, it'll get sticky. So like it would stick the paper and wrap it. Or if you get it too, you don't heat it up, it won't set. So it actually sets to where it feels like a hard surface. So this isn't fully cured. It might take another couple hours to actually fully cure. But this is pretty good this will be a nice finish for us. But like I said, if you do a couple coats and separate it by at least a few hours, you'll start to build a really hard, shiny finish to where sometimes people will mistake it for CA. But I do think you need to do the sanding sealer because the sanding sealer is what fills all the little grain holes, the little microscopic holes that make it look uneven, like not flat and hard. So if you want to do that kind of a finish, that's what I would do. So that looks pretty awesome. Let's see if we can.
I was asking Jake how much they've raised for Make-A-Wish.
Make-A-Wish?
Make-A-Wish. And he said over 17 grand.
Way to go, Jake.
Woo, woo, woo. That's amazing.
Jake, that is insane. Good job. Way to embarrass us. We didn't even do close, but totally different animal. But awesome, Jake. That's really cool.
No, it's amazing. And it's all the folks that are here, too. Like, lots of these folks are over in Jake's live streams as well. And
way to go.
It's such a cool, great community.
Yeah, it's pretty all right.
Can you say one more time what the finish is?
Yep. So I did a sanding sealer, then I did Yorkshire grit to polish the sanding sealer, and then I did Mylan's friction finish, which I'm going to do again here on this one. Now, this is olive wood, which is much more oily and much more smooth grain than the Buckeye. Buckeye's real punky and like full of holes. That's why you stabilize it. But this stuff is much smoother, other than my tool marks, which you can see in there. But you can see how nice this stuff sands out and fairly quickly. So I'm sanding one end off here. Now, olive wood is one that I would never do a CA finish on because it's oily. You'll almost guaranteed get cracking or hazing shortly after it's done. Usually it'll look really nice and you'll go home or set the pen down and then the next day it'll look terrible because it hazes or cracks on you. So anything oily I don't do, like cocobolo, olive wood, ironwood. Can you get away with it sometimes? Sure. But you won't every time. So do what you want. Because some people will probably say, I see it every time. And that's fine.
I was talking to somebody on the phone today, Jerry, awesome dude, And we were talking about how there's this whole controversy of scuff versus no scuff on tubes. And I was like, Chad never scuffs his tubes.
Scuffing a tube, what's that?
Some people will be like, you have to scuff the tube.
Yeah.
It's a good example of like how
I don't want the government telling me I got to scuff my tubes.
people should find the way that works for them and roll with it.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of different ways to get to an awesome finish.
Yeah, like Napoleon Dynamite said, do what's in your heart.
That's what I do.
That's right. All right. Yeah, we won't start the scuff, no scuff debate because that's a very controversial, divided
It's so funny.
public. All right. Looking pretty good. This stuff is so smooth when you sand it. It's crazy. And that's why I won't put I don't feel like I need to put sanding sealer on it because there's nothing to seal. It's pretty much perfectly smooth. All right, let's see.
Really cool grain in that.
Do I have any?
Mike Taylor says, tube scuffer sounds like a 1950s insult.
Yeah, you tube scuffer. That's funny.
And then Darren said, just don't ask Napoleon for a tater tot.
Right? We were laughing because this great little Mexican taco shop down the street, they say they'll put potatoes, or no, what do they say? They put hash browns.
Hash browns.
They say they'll put hash browns in your breakfast, and it's totally tater tots, and we all think it's funny because, like, why don't they call them tater tots? Who cares? All right, so one drop, boop, and then across. And this stuff looks good. Won't crack, won't haze. Spinning here pretty good. I'm just gonna go slow and let it heat up. Da, 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 da.
We gotta watch that movie again, Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite.
We haven't watched it in a long time. It's real funny.
Yep. And so I'm just going back and forth here because I'm trying to set this finish. I'm heating it up. I don't want it to burn. I'm not like trying to catch my paper towel on fire, but I want it to get hot, which it is. And that looks pretty shiny. So we'll do one more drop, even though it is a little too soon, just for practice. But I would wait, like I said. But this stuff's great. I mean, this 4-ounce bottle, doing a couple drops on a pen, I think you could do probably a lot of pens. I always tell people get the 4-ounce first, and then if you like it, you can buy the big bottle and refill your small 4-ounce bottle. Into the water. Oh, look how weird that looks. So this is interesting. Where the finish was, it heated up and set, so it's like a hard thing in the paper towel. I don't know if you can see that. That's weird. So that's the finish. I dropped this in the water. Bizarre. Never done that before. Okay, let's move it.
Leah asked, did you seal the olive wood?
Good question. Did I seal the olive wood? No, because the olive is so tight grained and so smooth, I don't feel like I need to. Now, if you did it, I don't think it would hurt a bit, obviously. See, that feels hard just touching it, and it's shiny. So I don't think you need to do the olive wood, but that's opinion. If you did it, it would just be fine. So it wouldn't hurt to do it. Let's do the olive one first since it's in my hand. Okay, what color was olive?
Olive was, is there one that's brass?
Brass.
Antique brass?
Yeah, because the pewter was the Buckeye, the brass is
And then the copper is the resin.
is the white. Yeah.
That's how Carrie and I picked it.
Okay, so let's see. I zoomed in way too much for this now.
Yay! Darren's gonna go to SWAT.
Oh, good. That'll be fun, Darren.
Oh, I just saw, for anybody who is looking at getting a hotel room, I saw that SWAT posted today, maybe it was today, maybe it was a couple days ago, that there's some other event going on in Waco that same weekend of
no.
SWAT, and so hotel rooms are filling up fast. So if
get
you're
your
gonna
hotel.
go, like, jump on your hotel rooms.
Yeah.
So,
Hotels
PSA,
can be a
I guess.
challenge to get there. Okay, so let's look at this thing. You know, I feel like I saw a picture of this, but I don't remember what it looked like.
What? Carrie just said everyone who ordered these kits during the live stream has their order packed up and ready to go before Chad finished the live stream.
Well, that's pretty cool.
That is
Okay, so
really
that's
cool.
that.
That's
This
because
must go
Carrie
in
and Mike
here.
are the best.
Way to go, Carrie and Mike. Okay, so this is a pretty straightforward assembly. You've got the clip assembly. It's a rear finial twist. There's the front. Obviously, I don't want to push against the tip because anything fragile I don't like to push on. So we're going to take this. And let's see. I feel like the clip should go right there. And the front should go there. Okay, this is the Miles Craft pen press. You just put these little blocks up to give it pressure. It's spring loaded, so you don't really have to hold it, but you want to make sure and guide it to where you don't have any parts go askew. Hey, look at that. That's pretty cool. Then let's put the transmission in and snug it. Put the finial on. I mean, that looks pretty cool. It's kind of an Art Deco. The Beaufort inks that come in the kits are really nice. They're definitely an upgraded ink. So I always, back in the day when I sold a lot of pens, I used to switch my inks, but I wouldn't switch the Beaufort because it's good. Hey, that's pretty cool looking.
That's awesome.
So let's
Just
do
for people who missed it, will you repeat what finish you put on it?
Yeah, this is olive wood with the antique brass. And the olive wood goes, so I'm not a big gold fan, but olive wood goes well with brass or antique brass or even gold, in my opinion. And you know what opinions are worth.
Ooh, I like that. That looks so good.
So that's what I use olive wood for a lot, are like those colors. But, you know, do what's in your heart.
Oh, that's awesome. Sorry, Jake just said Jackie's coming with him to SWAT.
Oh, nice.
Made me excited. That's awesome.
Is Jake going to be, Jake, are you going to have your own booth or are you with Curtis again? Okay, this was the antique silver. This is going on Buckeye Burl. Ooh, now which direction? Let's see here. Maybe the lighter end.
Darren says, for my first turning show, any advice on things to make sure to bring or do? And I chuckled because I'm like, ooh.
An empty suitcase.
An empty suitcase and extra money.
Yeah. Darren, I highly recommend taking the rotations. I know it adds, you know, the expense of SWAT is that, because you can go to the vendor section for free. You don't have to pay for the classes, but man, they get the best instructors there. So I definitely would take the classes. Every year I want to take the classes, but we're working. Oh yeah, that looks cool.
And we have cool stuff for our booth this year. Jake says he's going to have his own booth this year.
Well, Jake, you should tell them. You know what I just did? I think I just broke this transmission.
Oh no. This is real life, people.
Well, I cranked it in there, but then I felt it pop loose. Maybe. Yep, I definitely did.
How did you break it?
Well, I mean, I don't know that I broke it, but when I put it in, I twisted it hard because I always like to set the little threads here in there. So I twist it real hard, and I felt it pop.
Just so other people can learn from.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often. I can't remember the last time it happened, but see how it just spins now? It doesn't stop.
Uh-oh.
Carrie, can you bring me a transmission for a Norwester? And I'm sure I have spares somewhere. I'll look. I'm going to take it out of this one for a moment. But what I was going to say, Jake, is you should have them put you near us, because then we can all be doing demos and like draw a crowd down there. Because we're going to have a lathe again, and we're going to do demos during the day, all day at SWAT.
My other advice to Darren too is to like hang out with folks in the evening, and like I think there's a really cool social aspect to the shows.
Yeah, that is a good one. Like, don't hesitate to be like, hey, you guys going to dinner? Can I go? Like, to different groups, because everybody's pretty friendly, and it's fun to go chat and meet new people. And
This
last year,
one, we were so tired, and we're like trudging back to our hotel rooms from working all day, and there were a bunch of people in the lobby of the hotel like drinking whiskey.
yeah,
It was great. Yay, Carrie!
Carrie to the rescue. I think
Jake
I have
says
some of
he'll
these. I'll
see
look.
if he could talk to his people.
All right, so that one looks really cool. I'll get a close-up of these in just a minute, everyone. Last year at SWAT, we ended up down the road at some like farm where they like did woodworking and had classes, and like
That
it was
was
like
so
a farm to table. Remember that? That was kind of cool.
That was so cool.
The only thing is they didn't have grog, but Mike survived. No grog. All right, this one is the one I thought would be kind of cool. Now, I did paint the tube white, so you can see it's nice and whitey, white reflective. If I didn't paint the tube white, I'm thin enough, I probably would have seen some brass showing through, which I don't want to see. And I don't really have to worry about, lining up the clip or the front. They're kind of all the same on this color. So that makes it easy. Oh yeah, that looks really cool. The copper with the white. Okay. Looking good, looking good. So if you're seeing this, see how the ink is sticking way out? What I do is I put it in there, and then I usually just tap it on this and it'll pop it in, because what it is that ink refill is caught on the front of the transmission and it just slips off. So there's that. So let's go to this camera. So there's the copper and the white pearl with antique copper. Looks really good. So you can kind of see, we'll see how good this.
Carrie and I chose those, and
Yeah, I think you guys nailed it
feel
with
like we nailed it.
the colors,
they look
because
really
that
good.
looks really cool. And then here's the antique brass with olive wood. That looks really good. Good color combination.
Carrie says that copper pen might go missing.
Yeah, she planned to steal it before it was even made. And then there's my favorite, because I love Buckeye. That's the stabilized Buckeye, which we do have these blanks in our stabilized section. And that's the antique silver with the Buckeye. So what is your favorite, y'all?
Yeah, that's a cool kit. I like it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, because like sometimes kits are just too much, but it's kind of a cool like Art Deco-y, old-timey feel.
Can you go? Oh, sorry. I'm watching the delayed replay. I'm like, hold
I'll try to hold
it
still for a minute.
still. Yeah, it's like having a hard time.
What's
focusing.
everybody's favorite? Antique brass and olive, antique silver and Buckeye, or antique copper and white? But there you have it. 3 pens. I would say they all came out really nice. And how long did that take us? An hour? an hour. Like, that's really crazy fast. Plus, I was talking the whole time and yakking. So
That Buckeye Burl's
you don't have to move fast to make these. You could spend an hour to make one, and that'd be fine. But pretty nice kit. And, you know, it's funny because, like, this Buckeye is my favorite because I always try to pick. I always tell people, like, start with an amazing piece of wood, and it'll come out that much better. If you pick boring wood, then you got a lot more work to do to make it cool. So kind of a unique pen kit. This will really appeal to some people, I'm sure. It'll totally, some people will love this.
Mike likes the Buckeye Burl one. He's like, that one might go missing.
Mike who?
Mike next door. Our Mike.
Oh, Mike E.
Mike E.
Well, there's so
a lot
many
of
Mikes.
There's a lot of
There's
Mikes.
so many Mikes, I don't know. Yeah. Mike, our Mike.
Oh, Jake Thompson said, it's official, I just paid for my booth at SWAT.
Way to go, Jake. I'm proud of you, man.
It looks like it's a good mix of which one people like the best.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really cool. And I think that antique finishes fit this kit. I don't think it would look good in like gunmetal. I mean, maybe it would, I don't know. I think it's kind of more of an antique finish kind of thing.
Oh,
So much to look forward to now that we know Jake is going to be at SWAT and Darren's going to be at SWAT and Zach's going to be at SWAT. Who else will be at SWAT?
Jim will be at SWAT. Jim, also, I just saw your thing about the jig. He wants a picture of your jig that you set up for your Celtic knot.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think we were supposed to do that when he was here and I forgot.
I totally can take a photo of it.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Jim will be there. Stu Batty will be there. I confirmed that. They're going to be there again.
Oh, nice. Yeah, his setup is wild cool.
Wildly cool. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. Or even if you didn't like it, give us a thumbs up. Just because. Helps with YouTube.
There's a lot of people going to be at SWAT. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, guys, lots going on. We'll see you next week at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. 1 o'clock, whatever time zone we're in now.
I think we're still Mountain Standard.
I think we're still Mountain Time. We never change. So sometimes we're with Pacific, sometimes we're with Mountain. So whatever we are now is what we are. But check it out, the Norwester kit, and then probably in the next, I'm hoping 30 days, we'll have another new kit or two coming your way. And they're pretty cool.
Oh.
That's all I'll say.
I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but
Oh,
it
you'll
sounds
know.
fun.
You'll know. And then I think, obviously, after my class, I think we'll probably do a bowl turning at some point, too, because we gotta have some fun with some bowls. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Let us know if you have any questions. I don't know.
Thank you, Michael. I made Michael McEwen an official.
Mr. Gold, official moderator.
I just did it, and then he was like, thank you. And then I was like, I hope it was all right that I just did it without asking.
Yeah, let me ask him. Mr. Gold, do you mind being a moderator on our chat? We'll see what he says. Maybe, maybe not.
He's so great. He always just does it.
He always
anyway.
helps
So I
anyways.
was like,
Yeah.
he just needs to be the official helper.
All right. Well, that's all I got, folks.
Thanks, everybody. Awesome chatting with you today. Reach out to us at the store if you need anything. Jim, I'll send you a text of that jig. Bye.